I will show you how to make some extremely easy money. We will be using this old guy, which you can find in every royal city and in every town. The only thing that you will need is some high school level math and some capital investment. I kept this technique as my little secret for a while now, but you know what? I'm a small channel, I appreciate every single view I get, and I want you to never regret clicking my videos. So take this as a little treat, my thank you for being subscribed, and enjoy! Before I begin, I will have to cover a bunch of terms. One of them is expected value, the second is the law of large numbers. If you already know what both of these mean, feel free to skip to the next section. Expected value is an average outcome for a game. For example, let's say we play a simple coin toss game. We flip a coin, and if it lands on the heads, you will receive 1000 silver, and if it lands on tails, you will lose 1000 silver. If we were to play this game for like an hour, you are expected to win about as many times as you are expected to lose, since the probability of heads is the same as probability of tails. Therefore, the expected value of this game is 0. Now let's try a different game. In this game we roll a die, and if it lands on 1 or 2, you will lose 1000 silver. If it lands on 3 or 4, you will lose 500 silver. If it lands on 5, nothing happens. And if it lands on 6, you will win 3000 silver. What is the expected value of this game? That's correct, it's 0 again. That is because if we were to play this dice rolling game over and over again, we would roll 1 or 2 and therefore lose 1000 silver about 33% of the time. The probability of rolling 3 or 4 and therefore losing 500 silver are the same at 33%. And the probability of winning the big money by rolling a 6 is about 16.67%. So this occasional big win should pay out for all of your losses, and you are expected to walk out with the same amount of silver that you came with. And this is how you calculate expected value. You take the magnitude of the first outcome and you multiply it by the chance of it happening. Then you do the same for the second and all of the other outcomes, and you add all of them together, and the number you are left with is your expected value. Both of these games are what we would consider a fair game. That is because your chances of winning are the same as your chances of losing. An example of an unfair game would be basically anything you can play in casinos, because in every casino game the house has an edge and your expected value is always negative. This is bad if you are the player in a casino, but this is good if you are the casino, because in that case the odds are stacked in your favor. Which brings me to the law of large numbers. Let's say we roll a d6 again, but instead of rolling it just once, we roll it 6 times. What will be the average rolled value after all of these 6 rolls? Simple, each side has the same chances of being rolled. Therefore, if I roll a die 6 times, it is reasonable to expect that each side will happen exactly once. The average roll value should therefore be all of the sides combined divided by the number of rolls. In other words, a 6-sided die should on average roll a value of 3.5. So let's test it. Let me roll this 6-sided die 6 times and notch down the result each time. And what's this? After rolling the die 6 times, I'm left with the average rolled value of 5, not 3.5. This is wildly different, but it makes perfect sense. In these 6 tries I rolled pretty high numbers, so of course the average is gonna be high. Let's see what happens if I roll the die 100 times. Here I have a script that generates 100 d6 rolls, so let me just copy the results to my table in here. After 100 rolls, the average rolled value is 3.06, which is already much closer to the expected value of 3.5. Last example, let's see what happens if I roll the die 5000 times. After pasting all 5000 results into my table, I can see that the average rolled value is pretty much the expected one, which is 3.5. And that is the simplified law of large numbers. By the way, this is how casinos make consistent profits. If you go to a casino as a player, the odds are stacked against you, that's true, but you play just a few games, so you might get lucky, roll a few high numbers and actually win something. You probably won't, but you can get lucky. A casino, on the other hand, cannot get unlucky, because each day there are thousands of players playing hundreds of games, so the casino will capitalize on the law of large numbers, and the casino will always come out with a profit. By now you are probably thinking, okay nerd, but how does this help me make silver in Albion Online? Well, for that we are going to use this guy. This is the artifact foundry, and you can find it in each city and in each town. The foundry allows you, among other things, turn runes and souls and relics into artifacts. You can select which tier and what kind of artifacts you want. This is adjustable. For example, let's say that I want to turn 50 tier 5 runes into one of these warrior artifacts. I click the button and this generates one of the artifacts in here. Do note that selecting different options here will give you a different pool of artifacts from which random will be chosen and generated. Each of these artifacts will be valued differently at the market, so each has a different estimated market value. And the same is true for a stack of 50 runes or 50 souls or 50 relics. Each of these have different estimated market value. If I take a stack of 50 runes, which are currently estimated at 2500 silver, and I make a random artifact out of it, in this case I'm left with ancient chain rings, which are valued at 1500 silver. Essentially I just lost 1000 silver on this, so it was not a great deal, but imagine that instead of these ancient chain rings, I would have gotten an artifact that is worth more than the stack of 50 runes. In that case, I would have made some money. Basically, this is how you can do gambling in Albion. Now hold on a minute. Gambling? Didn't I just say this is going to be risk-free? And that's correct. And that's because in this case, we are not going to be the gamblers. We are going to become the casino. Let me explain. Each of these settings, or the combinations in here, is a betting game, where in each game we bet the value of 50 runes or souls or relics or shards, and we may win or lose depending on the value of the artifact which we get out of it. So, all that we have to do is find such a combination of these settings where the expected value is higher than 0. In that case, the odds will be stacked in our favor, and we can just play the game repeatedly, using the law of large numbers to our advantage, and making steady and safe profits. So let's find such a game. But first, let me note that since markets in Albion are dynamic, then depending on when you watch this video or what server you play on, you will find different numbers and values than what I will show here. And that is okay, because the process will be the same no matter when or where you play this. So all that you have to do is learn how to calculate the expected value, and then you can use this forever in all servers. Okay, let's get into it. You can see me setting up a spreadsheet in the background, and all that I will have to do is pick a combination. In this case I'm picking T4 runes, and I just have to copy all the values that I'm interested in. So I need to copy the value of a stack of 50 runes, which is 1100 in this case, and once I have that notched down, I will copy the value of all possible artifacts that I can generate from this. So you can see me copying them one by one in here. You could also use tools like Albion Free Market, but for simplicity, let's just copy it by hand. And here are the results. This game could be called T4 Rune Warrior, and you can see it defined on the bottom right. As you can see, in this particular case, none of the artifacts are more expensive than what a stack of 50 rune costs. This is the worst possible game because no matter what artifact it generates, it loses money. Let's try to find a different game. This one you can see me setting up a spreadsheet for in the background, and I will call it Tier 5 Souls Ranger game. You can see it defined on the bottom right. The process is the same, I just copy all the possible values, and already you can see that the results are a bit more interesting. A stack of 50 tier 5 souls costs 11,000 silver. This is again more than every artifact that this can create, except Demon Hide Leather, which is very expensive. So playing this game has a big chance of losing money, but there is 1 in 9 chances of generating Demon Hide Leather, which would be a big win. Is it big enough to make this game worth playing? Not really. As you can see, the expected value is still less than what our input is. So if we play this over a long period of time, we would be losing silver. But wait, how did I calculate that? Simple. As you remember, to get the expected value, we take the value of each possibility and we multiply it by the probability of it happening. We add those numbers together and the result is the expected value. Since there are 900 artifacts that can be generated from tier 5 souls, each artifact has 11% chance of being generated. In this case, the expected value is less than what is a value of 50 tier 5 souls. So this is again not a good game and we shouldn't play it because we would lose silver in the long term. So is there a game that isn't losing money? Turns out there are several. You can see me filling one of them in the background. Let's call it T4 Shards Mage. And for the last time I will remind that markets are dynamic in Albion Online. So these are the prices that I got on the European server, but you should do your own calculations, do your own homework. Don't just blindly copy everything. Individual numbers will change, but the method will always work. And here are the results. A stack of 50 shards would cost me around 25,000. For this price, the game can still generate some trash, like hypnotic harmonic rings, which would lose me a hefty sum of silver, or a bunch of other useless artifacts. But the game can also generate a few very big wins. For example, the Sanctified Belt, which is used for crafting the very meta Robes of Purity. There's always demand for this, so it's very expensive. And there's also a bunch of other meta artifacts, which can make me quite a bit of money. And when I plug in the formula for the expected value, I can see that indeed this does make money. If I play this game repeatedly, I should be making about 40% returns on my investment. Which is huge! Incredibly big gains. So let's go see this in action and make the easiest money in my entire Albion career. First, I have to buy the shards. You can see me setting up buy orders in all 5 of the royal cities. This might have been unnecessary. This would still make money even if I bought the shards straight from the market. Similarly, setting the orders in 5 royal cities is also not strictly necessary, but I like to spread this a little bit, have some distribution, because then the buy orders will fill out much faster, because they are filled in 5 different cities in parallel. And also, when I convert these into the artifacts, I can sell those artifacts on 5 different markets in parallel, so that will also be faster. Since I won't be transporting anything, then this is almost no extra work.
Many hours later.
After some time, my buy orders are filled and these are the contents of my chests. And by the way, currently the game works on all tiers of shards, not just on tier 4s. So that is why you can see some tier 5, tier 6 and tier 7 shards in my chests in here. But anyway, after all the orders are filled, I'm left with 1 million silver worth of shards in Limhurst, 500,000 mil in Fort Sterling, 500,000 mil in Thetford, 1.3 mil in Martlock, and 500,000 mil in Bridgewatch. All in all, I invested almost 4 millions, which is not much really. This is pennies and on the very edge of being risky, as the more you invest, the less risky it becomes because of the law of big numbers. Anyway, let's get some money.
Motherfucker, get money. Get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Get money, motherfucker, get money.
Motherfucker, get money.
Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Get money, motherfucker, get money.
And there you have it. All in all, at the end of this run, I made over 2.5 million silver. That's more than expected, but it's okay because in the next run I'm gonna get something below the expected value and eventually it will all even out on those 40%. Last obvious thing to mention is that this is actually just artifacts in the chests, not an actual silver. You can turn those artifacts into silver on the market, but the market is dynamic, the prices change. If you do this too much, the prices will go down. When you sell on the market, there is the sell tax, which you have to take into consideration. The same with buying shards. But I don't have to explain the basic econ to a smart person such as yourself. I hope that you enjoyed the video and go use this fast while it still works.